Bowser Nissan on top of the hill on Route 51, one of Pittsburgh's largest Nissan dealerships, and we invite you to experience Bowser Nissan.
And I looked and I saw that the brake caliper has been dislodged. You can see the missing bolt here and the missing bolt down there.
What? What the fuck?
Thanks, Bowser Nissan, for doing some excellent work here, looking out for our safety, you know. Here's our 2015 Nissan Sentra. We just got back from Bowser Nissan a little bit ago. It had to go in for its transmission to get replaced. You can see down there, brand new transmission, $5,000 later, because the original one failed at 96,000 miles. So, you know, we just decided to get it replaced. She wanted to keep the car, and we ended up forking the bill for that because none of the extended CVT warranties or the extended warranty that we bought at the dealership when we bought the car were applicable. Last night she was coming home from somewhere pretty late, and she noticed there was a problem with her wheel. It was making a rotational noise, and she obviously pulled over, and you can see the inside of the wheel here is all gouged up. And I obviously came out here today and took a look at the car, pulled the wheel off, and I looked and I saw that the brake caliper has been dislodged. You can see the missing bolt here and the missing bolt down there. It just completely fell off. It's only being supported by the line at this point. You can also see that they were definitely in here because there's a brand new axle nut on here and cotter pin. Thank God they put that one in there for us. Thanks, Bowser Nissan, for looking out for safety, you know, especially with the brakes too there. Really appreciate that. And they obviously had to pull the axle in there, the axle, half shaft, or whatever you want to call it, to pull this assembly downward to pull the axle out. So they had to take the brake caliper and probably put it up top here. And they just failed to put it back together, basically. Or they failed to torque these down, I assume, because it did last, you know, like, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. And then they just kind of fell out. So, yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks, Bowser Nissan, for doing some excellent work here, looking out for our safety, you know. Thank you. Really appreciate it for the $5,000 that we gave you to replace the transmission in this vehicle. You guys did a splendid job. The one and only time I've seen something like this happen was on the Gears and Gasoline channel when their Evo actually had a similar incident happen. However, theirs was obviously on a track. Hers was on the street, and I do feel if she would have, you know, been driving at a higher speed or didn't immediately pull over, you know, something catastrophic would have happened. I think that, you know, we got a gouge in this wheel, but it actually can cut the entire wheel, and, you know, that's what happened to them. And luckily, you know, she stopped in time, and she didn't have that happen for her own sake and for the other people on the road. Another interesting and fun thing that happened when we took our car to Bowser Nissan is that right down here, I keep a bunch of quarters here. We go to Aldi, so we have a bunch of quarters, you know, sitting in here. And I do not take these out when I take the car in to get inspection and other things done at the independent shop that we take this car to. So I didn't think to take these out. We took other things out of the trunk that we obviously were more expensive, didn't take these out. Well, when we took the car to Aldi directly after picking the car up, when it was all done, these were all gone. I just put these in yesterday, actually. So these were all gone, and they just straight up stole, I don't know, you know, $3 out of the car. And I understand that's completely petty. You know, it's $3. It's petty on their part, and I'm not even concerned about that, to be completely honest. I'm more concerned about the safety of the people driving this car and not having the brakes completely, you know, fall off when you're driving down the highway, which is exactly what happened when she was driving this car. So my whole purpose in making this video is to just make people aware that, you know, of the work that Bowser Nissan are doing. I'm not too concerned about the, you know, $3 or $4 that was stolen out of the car or anything like that, but just the work that they're actually doing there. You know, they did a multi-point inspection, and apparently that doesn't include the brakes, you know, because obviously if that had been done prior, you know, when the brakes were done months ago, actually, it's been more than 6 months between the time the brakes have been changed on this car, you know, there would have been an issue if it would have happened then, you know, from the brake change. I completely understand that, you know, if it's not on them, but I'm almost 99% sure they would have had to pull that brake caliper upwards to get that axle out, and this actually was their fault to have this brake caliper fall out basically on the highway as she was driving, which, puts her at risk, puts anyone in the car who's at risk. Think about if you have kids or something like that. And also think about the other people that you're on the road with. If that, brake comes off and you slam into the back of somebody, wonder who's going to be liable there. Maybe the person who last touched the car? Probably.
The all-new Bowser Nissan, Route 51 South.
Well, that's the power of